And I said to you, I'll prove to you there's a God in 10 minutes. And you're a physicist, and you said you can prove to me there's no God in 5 minutes.
That's right.
Okay. So I said, we'll take up the challenge. I took up the challenge. I'm going to prove to you. Brilliant. Okay. Right. We haven't had a conversation. You've told me you're Jewish and you're atheist. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, Jewish and atheist. And you told me your name is Jan?
That's right.
Okay, your name is Jan. Okay, Jan. And which country are you from, Jan?
I'm Turkish British.
Okay, Turkish
So
British. Okay. So you live in Britain, but originally you're Turkish.
That's right.
Okay, and you're a Jewish atheist. Okay, brilliant. And you said to me you're studying physics at Imperial College?
That's right.
You're a physicist.
Well,
On the way.
On the way. That's
On the way to becoming a physicist, but I mean, studying physics, so for most people, you are a physicist. For average lay person, ordinary people, but you're obviously studying physics at Imperial College. That's one of the top universities in the world. Fantastic. Jan. Okay, Jan. And how's your name spelled? Jan?
C-A-N.
Oh, it's C-A-N. This is a Turkish C. Okay, so C-A-N, but pronounced Jan. Okay, brilliant, Turkish Jan. Now, and I said to you, I'll prove to you there's a God in 10 minutes, and you're a physicist, and you said you can prove to me there's no God in 5 minutes.
That's right.
Okay. So I said we'll take up the challenge. I took up the challenge. I'm going to prove to you. Brilliant. Okay, let me tell you, shall I have a go first, proving to you there's a God, and you can tell me afterwards. Is that okay with you? Give me 10 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to prove there's a God, or 10 minutes, and then you can prove to me it's all nonsense, there's no God. Is that okay?
Okay, but I can interrupt you,
Yes, of course you can, obviously.
and then I'll give you and then I'll let you speak again.
Fantastic, Jan. Come a bit closer, my friend. Okay. Now, okay. Really, there are 4 ways of proving there's a God, Jan. I would suggest. Number 1 is called cosmological argument, cause and effect. Number 2, it's the design argument, called the teleological argument. Thirdly, it's the lives of certain people, we would call prophets of God or messengers of God. Their lives bear testament to the truth of the message, therefore they are people sent by God. The 4th is the most powerful, which is this. The most powerful proof, the real proof that there's a God, Jan,
Is the one you get
are the miracles, are the miracles given by God to messengers of God. God sent messengers to answer 2 very important questions, I would suggest. Number 1, why did God make us? 2, why are we here on this earth? So to answer these very important questions, what happens after we die? To answer these very important existential questions, God has sent messengers or prophets like Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. How do we know they were sent by God? How do we know there's a God, Jan? They came with miracles. God sent them with miracles.
Okay,
and there's a miracle. Yep. So the miracles prove they were sent by God,
So
therefore there's God.
You can either believe that the guy is a messenger on number 3, you said, or you can believe that the miracles happened, number 4.
No, what I'm saying is the miracles are the most powerful proof there's a creator,
Sure.
right? And there's a miracle we can see today. There's a miracle we can see today. If you like, a living miracle, in a sense. Not it's alive, but in a living miracle. A miracle that exists today all over the world. And that miracle is a book, the Quran. The Quran itself, the book, you've heard of the Quran, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. The Quran itself is a miraculous book. If it's a miracle, it's from God. Therefore, there's a God, I would suggest. And what I would like to show, you're a physicist. You're studying physics. You're becoming a physicist. And what I would like to show to you, Jan, is 15 reasons why the Quran's a miracle. And you can refute all of them at the end if you don't mind, or whatever you wish. Number 1, it's a 1400-year-old book, Jan. It's unchanged in the Arabic language. Doesn't make it a miracle, just a fact. Number 2, the Quran contains lots of statements about science. Okay.
I'm going to stop you here.
Yeah, sure.
So here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm thinking, okay? What I have in mind...
By the way, sorry, quick question. You're Jewish atheist, so your parents, family, is Orthodox Jewish, or what type of Jewish?
No.
Secular Jew?
What's the name for European Jew? So my family comes from Spain to Turkey,
Yes, I'm
And
not
now-
sure. Hasidic, Sephardic.
I actually don't.
No, I
I'm
get
supposed to
confused
know
though.
these.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
supposed to know these, but I don't.
God
No.
bless you, brother. Thank you very much, brother. Okay, so how would you? Okay, you're Spanish
Okay,
Jewish.
Let me. Okay, so, what I'm thinking is that you're going into a particular religion when what I have in my mind, which you're, if you want to convince me, that's what you're going up against. What I have in my mind is specifically the idea of a God to begin with. Okay, I have essentially two arguments. One from the fact that reality is not deterministic. That one's more tricky. The other one is a lot simpler. Okay, and it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm gonna. So the idea is that. So what I'm saying right now is that.
Sorry, it's a bit cold here. Sorry.
That's right. What I'm saying right now is that you should stop reading those because those are Quran specific, and mine is general. And so right, you get.
No, but what I'm saying, sorry, I agree. I do understand what you're saying. The point is.
So I'm going to tell you what my thing is.
Fair enough. No, let me just explain why I was using the Quran. You see, the Quran, we believe, is a miracle book. Mm-hmm. It's a miraculous book. If it's a miracle, it can't be from human beings. Therefore, it must be from God. Therefore, there is a God. That's what I'm trying to show you. It's not specifically about Islam, but the Quran itself is a miracle. For example, I mean, with your Jewish background, you must have heard Moses threw down his stick on the water and the sea split open. The children of Israel escaped from the Pharaoh.
Yep.
That's right. And various plagues happened to the Pharaoh.
That's right.
You might have heard of Abraham doing other miracles. Other prophets did other miracles as well. I mean, I know you don't believe in God, but I'm saying this is what Jewish people believe in. And the Quran says these things as well, some of these things. And the miracle given to the Prophet Muhammad, the last prophet, is the Quran itself. And what I wanted to show you, Jan, is the Quran is a miraculous book. That's what I wanted to show you. Could you have a quick look and see what you think of it? So how is it a miracle or not? Is that okay with you? If I just show you very quickly.
Let me do my bit.
Okay, fine. Go on.
And then I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Here is the reason why this isn't going to convince me. Okay. Because here is the reasoning I'm following. Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. What you got to do is be really careful about what you're thinking about. Okay. Be very careful because that's often where you make the mistakes. Okay. So when you say God is true, something along those lines. You also got to say, in what way is it true? And when you put those different ways in which things are true, establish them, you start to realize that things are a little bit more mathematical than you might initially. Okay. So, what I'm most interested in, okay, is the scientific truth, which is different to all the other forms of truth. So what I'm saying is, yes, there are multiple ways of looking at it, but for me personally to say God is true in a kind of way, I'm focusing on this specific way. And what I'm looking at is, for something to be scientifically true, there are all of these certain filters that it needs to pass, okay?
Sorry, there might be a slight problem with the camera. 1 second, please. This was pulled out last time. Sorry. Zakaria, Mohammed Kadi, would you take it over, please? Give Zakaria, yeah, sorry. Slight problem with the camera there. Okay, please, carry on, yeah. Okay.
So there are all these filters that a specific idea needs to pass for it to become true, okay? And what I'm suggesting is that God, as an idea, doesn't pass those filters to be considered scientifically true. Let me give you a few ideas. Okay. So, where does it specifically fail? When you suggest that God exists, that means it has to be that to understand reality, you need to think about God. Okay. And so you get an idea, and then you have
So a slight problem with the camera here. We're just going to change cameraman.
damn. Okay. I have put this really rigorously, like really concisely before, but I'm going to struggle. So this is a 5-minute argument. Okay.
Shall I show you the evidence there is a God first?
Give me a minute. Okay. So,
Just for our cameraman here, he's a physicist from Imperial College, physics. So clever guy, clearly very clever guy. You can't study physics at Imperial College unless you're super clever. Fantastic. And yeah, sorry, please carry on.
okay.
Sorry, just for cameraman, he's Jewish atheist. He's going to prove there's no God, and I'm going to prove to him there's a God. Just for cameraman here, okay? Because we've got a change of cameraman.
Okay. So, for you to say that something exists, say for example, atom, okay, and gravity, all these ideas that we feel comfortable saying, this exists, this is real. All of these ideas pass through these filters for us to be able to say that. And
With God, we can't do that. You're saying?
with God, but it's I can present this to you in a far more rigorous way in which you can understand. Okay, the reason why an idea like the atom existing is accepted, even though throughout history, every person who said the atom exists was wrong. Let me give you an idea by what.
Because without evidence, you can't say that the atom exists. Basically, either you have to detect it or you have to detect its effects, and they couldn't do that before.
Yes,
I agree. But with God, okay, let me just stop you one moment. You see, the thing with God is the reason you can't detect God, you can't measure God, or you can't detect the effects of God, are reason because God wants to keep himself hidden.
Okay.
The reason being, you see, from a Muslim point of view, God has made us to connect with him. God has put us on the earth to go through a spiritual journey to be as good as we can, and then with God's fadl, which means his blessing, we can ultimately see God. That's what we're here for. The only reason we're here on the earth is to go through a spiritual journey to be good enough to see God with God's blessing. You know, we try our best. God's, with his fadl blessing, he allows us to see him. That's what we're for. So now if God had made it obvious, see, from a Muslim point of view, Jan, if God appeared in the sky and said, I am God, everyone will believe in him.
No.
No, I'll tell you why. But let me tell you why.
That's where you're wrong.
Let me just
and
answer.
That's what I wanna.
Sorry, one second. Let me just answer that, what the Quran says. In the Quran, God says that the disbelievers want God and the angels, his workers, to appear amongst the clouds in the sky. God says if that were to happen, then the matter would already be judged. That means, the point is, if God appeared in the sky and says, hello, I am God, Allah, you're Jewish.
That's exactly the point I'm making, which is that
God doesn't want us to, God doesn't want to make it obvious.
this is exactly the subtle point that I'm making, which is that when you're saying that, you're wrong about that. So let me give you an idea. Let's go through that example. Portal opens up of some kind. A guy comes out with a beard, says, I am God, okay? Actually, this isn't good enough to say God is real, okay? The problem is that this is only good enough to say sometimes a portal opens up, a guy comes out and says, I am God. And this difference is baked into what we say scientific reality is.
I agree, but God, we can't. The whole point is God doesn't want to be detected by, spectroscopy or any of the measurements or radio detectors or radio wave detectors. God doesn't want us to be able to measure him or check him or find him, because the whole point of life on the earth is this search.
I can make a concrete argument. Okay.
Fair enough.
So, let me set the stage. Throughout history, there were a lot of people saying there is an atom and there is not an atom. The reality is, everyone except the people saying there is an atom today, they were all wrong. Okay? Even though today we
don't know what an atom is.
So even though we say there is an atom today, and there were a whole lot of people in the past who said there is an atom in the past, all of those people were wrong until the one the atom we're talking about today. So to be specific,
I agree. But the reason for that is they couldn't detect the atom, they couldn't measure the atom, and they couldn't measure the effects of the atom. Okay, now with God...
let me
say about...
Okay. Because the point I'm making makes sense. You just got to be a little bit more patient.
Sure.
So what I'm suggesting is that...
Sorry, excuse me.
What I'm suggesting is that... Here we go. I got it. So, even though we say today that the atom is real, why was everyone else until today who said the atom is real, why were they wrong? Because when they said the atom is real, they were referring to something distinct, different from what we're referring to today.
I agree.
Yeah? So...
Same with God, essentially.
And you need to clarify these things, because when you say, okay, let's break it down. You're saying God is real, right? But that's not just all you're saying. Just like how back in the past, you're not just saying the atom is real. You're saying the atom is real and it has these specific properties that turns out to not be the case, okay? So one of the things you're saying is God is real and it has this specific property that it doesn't want us to find out about him. Yes?
That's true.
Okay. Which means if a portal opened up, not only, yes, God would be real. Okay, let's just say the conclusion would be that God is real. But then you would be wrong in saying that God is real.
That's true.
Right? Because you're saying that God is real and he doesn't want us to know about him. So if a portal opened up, you're wrong. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes,
okay.
it does.
Foundation.
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay. The problem is, when you say specifically that, number one, he doesn't want us to know about him, number two, he hides from us, and number three, we can only he will only reveal to us after death.
No, but there's something we can see today. That's what I was trying to say to you. You see...
Okay, put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. Okay. But if you say all these three things, okay, then actually you could still be right, except what you're suggesting wouldn't be scientifically true. Do you understand the
I understand what you're saying. I understand. Let me answer this way. 70-80% of the matter of the universe is undetectable.
Let's say.
Dark energy and dark matter.
Okay.
You agree with that?
We'll talk about that later.
Right. It doesn't agree. It can't be measured. Okay. However, you can measure the effects of dark energy and dark matter on the universe. Yes. Therefore, the implication is it does exist.
Okay.
The same way I'm with God.
Great.
I'm saying same with God. I'm saying with God, you can't detect God, but you can detect the effects of God. And one of the effects of God is the miracle of the Quran. The Quran is the effect of God. This is what I want to show you.
Okay.
So as a physicist, I want to show you, you're Jewish atheist, I want to show you why the Quran's a miracle.
But then you're contradicting yourself. Okay. Let me
just show you very quickly why it's a miracle. And then you can refute all of it then.
But there is something here. So first you're saying he doesn't want us to know about him.
Correct.
Okay.
Otherwise he could easily appear in the sky and say, I am God.
First you're saying God exists. Then you're saying he doesn't want us to know about him.
Not directly, yes. Indirectly.
Yeah.
Because this is part of the search. You see, the point is, if you made it obvious, then there'll be no search.
Gotcha.
There's no yearning, learning, turning to God, looking for him. Therefore, there'll be no point. The whole point of life on the earth is this yearning, learning, turning to God, and this is part of the search. And if you made it obvious, then there'll be no search. Then there's really no test on the earth. So this is why he doesn't want to make it obvious. And but however, there are miracles that he's given to mankind which show that he exists, and one of the miracles, and the main miracle now, is the Quran. The only miracle actually is the Quran now.
But okay, again, so here is what I mean, which is that even if a portal opened up and a guy came through saying I'm God, that wouldn't prove that God doesn't exist. In the same way that because you have to be really specific about.
Let's go to the effects of the God.
Okay, but I am
coming that way.
I am breaking this down.
Yes.
In a way okay.
In a way it's intelligible to the audience.
Which is what I'm going to try and do.
Can I show you evidence of God, which is the Quran itself, and show you why it's a miracle, and see what you think?
But again, remember, even if a portal opened up, you would be wrong in saying that God exists. Remember, why did you say that?
You're saying because God doesn't want us to see him.
No. I'm saying that because you're saying God doesn't want us to see him. So even though you're saying God exists, and you're referring to something called God, you're calling it God, doesn't mean you are right. Yeah?
I agree.
Yeah? And so if a portal opened up, you would be wrong.
I understand what you're saying, but the point is, it's not going to happen. That's what our point is. There's no portal going to open up, a hole in the sky, essentially, for our viewers, and God's going to appear.
But I'm making a connection. So I'm making the connection that I'm saying if a portal opened up, I wouldn't accept that God exists.
That's fine.
But you're pointing to me that that the Quran, which you regard to be evidence of God, like you're showing to me the Quran when I'm saying a portal opening up wouldn't satisfy me.
No.
That's what you see what I'm saying.
So, but the point is, would the Quran, if it's a miracle, if I can show you it's a miracle, would that satisfy you that it can't come from human beings?
See,
Are you saying that whatever evidence you see, because God says in the Quran that some people, even if there was a staircase to the heavens opened up, and you could see people going up to God, etc., they still wouldn't accept, because they're basically, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but basically they're too arrogant and too full of themselves. The Quran tells us that there are people who are arrogant. They don't, whatever evidence comes up, they still wouldn't believe in it anyway. That's fine, because it's guidance at the end of the day. We depend on God's guidance. Let me show you why it's a miracle, and you come back to your points, right? Very quickly. Give me a chance. Okay, 1400-year-old book, Jan, and it's unchanged in the Arabic language. Number 2, it's got lots of statements of science inside the Quran.
Gotcha.
3, it's got no scientific mistakes. So when you have an old book talking about science, some of these things have been discovered in the last 100 years. Where does the Quran get this information from? Fourthly, it's a book that's easy to memorize. Okay, it's been designed to be memorized easily. There are about 2 billion Muslims in the world, Jan. About 300 to 400 million can speak Arabic. Therefore, there are about 1.6 billion Muslims that can't speak Arabic, like me. I'm an Indian convert, essentially. And and people can still memorize it. Maybe 100 million have memorized the whole Quran by heart, okay? And all the Muslims have memorized some of the Quran. You know, sometimes a quarter of the Quran, a tenth of the Quran, whatever, they've memorized. And these people can't even speak Arabic. So millions and millions of people have memorized the whole Quran in Arabic, and they don't know Arabic language. Okay, now you might say, what's the point of that? Okay, number one, it's a spiritual effect on our hearts, we believe. And the other thing, Jan, is that the point of this is, in the Quran, God says that He has made it easy to memorize. It's the way it's been designed. God says that in the Quran. And secondly, imagine if we try and memorize a song in Chinese, Mandarin. I assume you can't speak Chinese, can you?
No.
Okay. If we memorize a song in Chinese, Mandarin language, okay, we might be able to memorize a song 2 or 3 minutes long. We can't understand Chinese, we can memorize it. But to memorize the Quran, you see, the Quran is recited, which is like sung. How long does it take to sing the Quran? My nephew, who's memorized it completely, he says it takes him 30 hours. So he's memorized a song called the Quran. Yeah. He's memorized a song called the Quran, right? A song, you could think of it like a song, okay? Which takes him 30 hours to sing, and he can't even speak Arabic.
That's quite impressive.
It's impressive, isn't it? Right. So this is the point about the Quran. This is part of the miracle of the Quran. Okay, let's continue. 5, Prophet Muhammad could not read and write. So Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a shepherd. He's looking after sheep. Later on in life, he's buying and selling goods. He goes and sits in a cave, right? And he's sitting in a cave, and something happened to him. He came out and told people, while I was sitting in a cave, the Holy Spirit, which is an angel, came to me with words from God. Now, obviously, the question people don't say is that, is he speaking the truth or is he lying? And we know from his personality, his character, he never lied. So then people said to him, you're mad. You've gone crazy. You're sitting in a cave and it's drove you mad. And these words kept coming. These words that he claimed to be words from God, God's words, kept coming down, and they came in an apparent random way. People came and asked him questions. Sometimes Jewish people came and asked him questions. I mean, you're Jewish yourself. And atheists and idol worship asked different questions or faced different problems. And Prophet Muhammad didn't know what to say, didn't have the answers. The words would come, he would tell the people. And of course, he couldn't read and write, as I said, but people around him could read and write, obviously. 40, 50 people, like his friends, if you like, and they would write these words down. Okay, they wrote these words down. They collected them together over 23 years.
Okay, yep.
And now, if you look at the Quran, even though it was written over 23 years, and the chronology or the time frame is very clear in the Quran fits together beautifully as if it's written in one go.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it come from? Where do these words, which all fit together, and it has a continuous rhythm through it? That's why people can memorize it. So with this tune, or if you like, or rhythm to it, where do these words come that were written over 23 years and yet all fits together beautifully without any sort of errors, mistake, contradictions? Okay. Number 6, the words of the Quran have an effect of making people happier. As our leaflet says, less anxiety, less sleepless nights, less stress, as it says on here, less depression. Okay. Yep. Connect with the Creator, Jan. I mean, you're Jewish atheist. Connect with the Creator, and you'll see you're going to be a lot happier, a lot relaxed, less Zopicone, sertraline, Prozac, spliffs, cannabis. If you do any of these, alcohol. I mean, you're young, so I'm sure you don't have any of these problems. But as you get older, people do. And also connecting with the Creator means your relationship with your partner will be better. Your relationship with your children will be better. If you have children in the future, your children's behavior will be better. You don't lose anything at all. And also, the Quran promises something even more amazing, that after we die, because I'm sorry, Jan, but you're not going to be young and good looking forever.
That's unfortunate.
Okay, so one day we are going to get old. Yeah. Even Einstein died. We all die, even if you're Einstein. We die and we go back to God. And there's another life which is permanent. And this is not pie in the sky or fairy tales. This was said by all the prophets of God. Abraham, Moses, David, Solomon, Joseph, Jacob, including Jesus. I know Jewish people don't accept Jesus, but we believe in Jesus as the Messiah. And after Jesus, Muhammad. They all said the same thing. And beyond heaven, which is an amazing place, right? As God says, God has made things which no eye has ever seen and no one can even imagine.
Yep.
That's right. No one can imagine. No soul can imagine. God says what things we have prepared in the hereafter. So it's going to be an amazing place, right? I mean, we think of the best iPhone or the best, computer game or whatever.
I'm reaching the limit of things I can
Imagine.
Hold on to.
Fine, let's continue.
Remember off the top.
Good.
Okay.
Number 7, this book contains no contradictions, I already mentioned.
Okay, yep.
Number 8, the way Arabic language has been used inside the Quran, it's very powerful and inimitable. It cannot be imitated and copied. Okay. Number 9, there's a challenge by God inside the Quran. Okay. What is the challenge? To produce one chapter like it. And the shortest chapter, Jan, is only 3 sentences. Imagine you're studying physics, Imperial College, one of the top places in the world.
Yep.
Okay, and I studied at King's College here in London as well, right, as I told you, I think, earlier on. And, I didn't mention to you, but I'm telling you now, right? And if a book you studied in physics, at the beginning of that book, somebody wrote, my book is so good, no one can ever write 3 sentences like it again, that person who wrote that book of physics would be crazy, would be mad to say that. No one can say that, right? Even Einstein couldn't say that. So, right, the point is, it's something only God could say, really, and he has said in the Quran, and he would stand up. Okay, today this book has produced the largest practice religion of 2 billion followers. It's also the fastest growing religion all over the world, including the United Kingdom. I'll give you some statistics here. It's going very fast in Britain. Number 12, lots of people converting. I'm really a convert as well. Number 12, historical events inside the Quran are 100% accurate. Okay. Predictions about the future are in the Quran, 100% accurate. How Christian, well, okay, it doesn't apply to you because you're Jewish, atheist, but how the Christian religion started is explained in the Quran. It's 100% accurate. It contains an economic and a welfare system inside the Quran, which are still applicable today and still necessary today. Now, right, you're a Jewish brother, you're atheist. What is the basic message in the Quran, Jan? Basic message is connect with the Creator, God, right? And be a good person, which we can all agree with, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's easy. We use the word Allah for God, and you might say, oh, that's the Muslim word for God. No. In fact, in the Aramaic language, which was the language of Jesus, the word for God is Allah. So it's the same God. It's the God of Jesus, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, and the God of Muhammad. Peace be upon all of them. Okay. What names does God have? In the Quran, God says, he has many names. God says in the Quran, all beautiful names belong to God. I know Jewish people use Elohim, Adonai,
don't.
Hashem. No, I know you don't. I know, because you're atheist. You're atheist Jewish. But I'm saying that's what they use. And that's fine. That's not a problem. God has many beautiful names, Quran says. Okay. Also, you see, the other beauty of Islam is, Jan, it's purely monotheistic. God doesn't become a man called Jesus, that's Christianity, or God is inside everything. God is one. There's nothing like him. He's got no parents, he's got no children. Everything is his creation, which he created from nothingness. He originated everything from nothingness. At the beginning, Prophet Muhammad explained there was only God, there was nothing with him. And then he decided to make certain things. Right. And why did he make us? The scholars tell us, etc. As the Quran tells us, Prophet Muhammad told us, because he wanted to make a creation that would connect with him with free will and free choice. Everything is worshipping God, connecting with God without a choice. From the neutrino, the electron, the quark particles, which quantum particles.
So good at naming things. Physicists are so good at naming things.
That's right, that's right. Right up to the whole universe. Everything is obeying God's laws.
Like, you know, cyclotron, that's a thing. We recently came out with this. We came out with a stellarator. That's synchrotron. These are all real words referring to real things.
Of course, fantastic. Okay. The point is now, okay. So what is? That's the basic message. Okay, let me show you one thing. Here, Jan, look. This is how we meditate on God. Okay, pray or meditate. Why do we do it like this? In the Bible, just for information for you, I know you're atheist, Jewish atheist. Abraham and Moses and Jesus, that's how they prayed and meditated. And the Prophet Muhammad said, the closest we can be to God, the absolute closest we can be to God in this world is in this position. Yep. Yes, it is. That's what Prophet Muhammad said. Yeah, it is interesting. And also, the Prophet Muhammad said that we should pray the way we see him praying. Also, the Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him, that spend more time. So I've got a bit of dust in my throat.
Okay.
Prophet Muhammad said we should do this. So I would suggest the real answer is this, Jan, have a go at meditating like this, right?
Okay.
And at some stage you get an epiphany, enlightenment. Try it and see. That's the picture there. Put your head on the ground. Have no statue or idol in front of you. Just to God. Also, I told you we use the word Allah for God. The word Allah, another beautiful thing about the word Allah is that it's the word used by Jesus, but also Allah is not male or female. He's not a man or a woman. The creator of this absolutely vast, you're a physicist, you know it better than I do, the incredible size of the universe is unbelievable. The creator of this vast universe cannot be a man or a woman. Christianity says God became man. I mean, Christianity is, I'm sorry, but Christianity is a bit misogynist because they say God the Father had God the Son. Why isn't it God the Mother having God the Daughter? So we would say this is misogynist. Okay, but also, Quran says God. Yeah, sure, please. So, are you okay to have a go like this, meditating like this? Not here now.
Not right now.
No. When you go back to your room, try it and see secretly. So don't tell anyone.
All right. I won't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. And try it and see if you get an epiphany.
Okay.
Look, the point is, let me tell you one, I'll make you a question. You're doing physics at university. You might later on do AI. Or you might go and work for Microsoft or Google or whoever you want to work for, right? Okay. Or you might become professor of physics at Imperial College. Yeah. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Fantastic. So you become professor of physics and you've got a huge salary and you've got the most beautiful partner, okay? And you made some amazing discoveries. You discovered the Jan particle.
Of course,
right? And you've got the best house. You're going to continue living in Britain?
Potentially.
Okay, potentially. So you live in Britain, you live in Hampstead or St John's Wood, okay, or Mayfair, okay, and you've got this amazing house, you've got this amazing partner, you've got this amazing car, okay. Are you going to be happy?
Potentially.
Potentially, yes, but I would say potentially yes, but not kinetically no.
Okay.
Because two types of energy, potential and kinetic energy. Sure. So I'm using physics terms. So now...
That's enjoyable.
That's enjoyable, okay. So now, the point is, potentially you could be happy, but the reality is, the rich and famous are not happy people. Even the rich film stars, football players, they're into drug abuse, sex abuse, alcoholism, and they changing partners. Their partners leave them. They're not happy. The partner, even though they might be with the best looking partner in the world, they're not happy, and their relationships break up. Okay. So you're not going to be happy.
Listen,
Connect with the Creator.
Okay, I'm listening.
That's the only happiness.
Okay, I'm listening to you, but at the same time, I'm realizing that I'm like, and I'm trying to absorb what you're telling me, but at the same time, I am just nodding along, because the point is,
Nodding along is fine as long as you're not nodding asleep.
the problem.
So I do some jokes. Sorry about that.
That's okay. The problem is, what you're saying isn't addressing my. Okay, so there is a way I think about it. Okay, and the reality is, the fact is, the situation is that the way you're presenting the information about the world, whether it be you meditate and happiness and this and that, the way you think about it doesn't actually contradict with the way I think about it. And because of that, it'll never flip me over on the statement that God is real.
Yeah, why not try and connect with the Creator and see what happens? And nothing happens, you could say, fine, I'm the way I am.
I've tried.
Okay, what you do is you say two sentences. To get a connection is what you do. You say, number one, I will only pray to the Creator of the universe.
Okay.
Right? Pray to the universe. Number two, you say, I accept Abraham, Moses. I know you're Jewish atheists, and I'm sure you've heard of these names before. You say, yes, and I accept Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad as messengers of the Creator.
Yeah.
You have a connection. Right, that means you have a connection. That actually makes you a Muslim.
Okay, sure.
Right, then you continue this meditation every day. That's all. You don't give up bacon sandwiches or a glass of wine or whatever you're into, Yeah, right, okay.
Sure.
Connect with the Creator and then try it and see for a few days, few weeks, few months, and see what happens. And my experience is anyone who's connected with the Creator once...
But here's my problem is that even if I do all of that...
Sorry, I'm screwing up.
Even if I do all of that, we're still at the core.
Is there a God or not?
Yeah, that doesn't flip any of my beliefs. Like,
Okay.
here is. Let me give you.
No, I just want water. Could you give me a glass of water, please?
I can make it more concrete if you want. Okay, I'll make it more concrete. So, take one example. I go home and I do the meditation, as you say. Okay, and I get the positive results.
Good.
What's stopping me from going, oh, meditation is a good thing. I am getting happier from meditation. I should continue doing meditation, and God doesn't exist.
That's fine. Okay. Let me come back to this.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Which is that
meditation's help. There's no God.
Yes. So that link is the part which is problematic.
I agree with you. Okay, let me answer it this way. Sorry, let me just take a sip of water. Thank you, exactly.
Let me make the claim in a more concise way. Let me try and do that, and you try and.
I agree with you. You're saying, is it the meditation that's helped, or is there really a God, or is it just the meditation, right?
No. I'm going to put the argument.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you have to be more specific about what exactly you say is real. Okay. So when you say God is real, my issue is that first you need to be able to put it on paper, and then say, is this real, right? So
put what on paper? The writing, or what? Sorry, what do you mean?
Yeah. The
Quran is on writing.
Okay. Great.
That is the writing.
Yes.
That's on paper.
That's okay. So you're putting it on paper, and you're saying, I'm not going to change this, okay? And then I'm saying this is real, okay? That's the scenario. So you've written a certain thing on paper. You're saying this is real. Now you're going to test if this is real, okay? And the reason you do that is so you can very clearly see where you're changing your ideas to fit, okay? So you want to write it down, and then you want to figure out if you're wrong or not.
That's how science is done. That's all scientific experiments.
There we go. And so
that's all of science, though.
Right.
But God is outside the universe. You see, the whole point is he's outside the science. No, but he's outside the scientific paradigm.
Perfect.
He's outside the scientific worldly paradigm.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time as being outside the scientific paradigm, the scientific paradigm is the mechanism by which you define what it means for something to be scientifically true.
True, but
Which means-
only
which
if it's
means-
within our within
See,
our.
there is no middle ground.
No.
you see?
If it's outside,
If-
we're limited by three.
You get what
Sorry.
I'm saying? So there are different definitions of truth, okay? Take one specific definition of truth, which is the scientific, so I'm just going to call it scientific truth. The one specifically determined by the method, scientific method. The problem is that if you're saying this is the truth, then God is not true. Because specifically, this method does not come away with the determination that that idea which you previously had is true.
Fair enough.
Do you understand?
I do understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But you see, he's outside. We're limited to these three. I've forgotten the word actually. 3 dimensions. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just forgot the word.
Here's what I invite
But he's
you to do.
outside our
Here's what I
dimensions.
invite-
He's outside space and time.
Great. Here's what I invite you to do. You define a different idea, define a different term. You see how I said I'm not going to act like I understand what truth is. I'm saying I'm defining a specific thing right now. I'm calling it scientific truth, and I'm saying I'm making a claim about the idea of God, and it's it might turn out to be that's a claim still.
Yeah.
That requires rigor.
Yeah, sure.
Here's what I'm inviting you to do. Do that same thing. Come up with it.
Scientific
Just
method, right?
yeah,
You're talking about the scientific method.
effectively.
But you can't do that with God, though.
Exactly. And
That's what I agree. No, fair enough. You can't do that with God. Fair enough.
And that's the
But
problem.
no, fair enough. But you see, the point is.
But
No,
now,
sorry, can I
now
just-
the question comes up is, what do you mean by true? Because
Fair enough.
because if we hypothetically agree, and I make we agree that there is scientific truth defined by the scientific method, and the God doesn't fit into it, and ergo, God isn't scientifically true.
Scientifically, yes, you can't prove God. I agree.
Okay. But then, I invite you to, if you're going to continue on saying God is true, if you're going to continue on saying,
You're saying different methods.
just have a new definition of truth, right? Because now that's the thing that's missing.
Fair enough.
Does
You
that
see,
make sense?
It does make sense. But the point is, you see, Jan, with these 15 reasons,
Okay.
would you agree the Quran is an influential book?
Sure.
Yes. 2 billion followers
Yeah.
and the fastest growing religion
Yep.
and a huge effect on mankind.
Yep.
And you see, a powerful piece of narrative is defined by the effect on people's psyche. And the Quran has a huge effect,
But-
making people happy and relaxed.
None of that invites me to go on and say the Quran is therefore true. You
But what I'm
understand?
saying,
Or-
why don't you give it a 10? It's like in English, there's a saying: the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
The proof of the pudding is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is,
I don't know what that means. I don't know
what
how
that
to deal
means
with
is, what that means is, look, I might tell you this fruit or this pudding, this dessert is very tasty. But you say, I've never tried it. I don't think it's tasty.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So what
I'm
I'm
sorry, Jan.
suggesting is
You
that-
haven't tasted it.
What I'm suggesting is that you haven't actually given me a fruit. You haven't
Right.
actually given me something to bite.
That is it, the Quran. That you have a go.
But you're wrong about that. You're wrong in thinking you've given me something to bite. Because
Why don't you have a go at the meditation and see what happens?
Because-
Come back and tell us, I meditated on God and
but
nothing
again,
happened.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to meditate on God, and I'm going to get positive results.
No, you will, guaranteed.
Okay, great.
From God.
Still,
It doesn't-
there is no reason for me to go.
I think
and
you'll
there,
find. Okay, I'll give you another
but
thing.
again, what do you you understand?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
We
It's just
agree that
yes.
it doesn't fit scientific truth.
Yes.
Okay.
God
And
doesn't.
and that
The effects do.
Yes. meditating is good.
Yes.
But then for me to say,
Therefore, there's a
there's a God.
God, I understand.
No. Therefore, God is true.
Yes.
What do I mean by that?
That's a
I
good
don't
idea.
mean anything by that.
Good idea.
You understand? You
Good
haven't
idea.
given me
Okay.
a fruit to
You
bite
see,
on.
another couple of things you can do. You see, another.
understand?
Yeah, that's right. Another proof of God is ask Him in a situation. Ask God to help you. For example, let's say you're just going for a meal.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say, God, if you exist, give me the best meal, right? And you might say, would it make any difference? Try it and see. And you'll see, you'll go there, and for some reason, God will direct you to have the best meal for you, the healthiest meal, or maybe,
Again,
you'd
same
be
problem.
surprised. No,
Same
it
problem
will
is
be an
that-
effect.
Is that me asking God obviously does help with the food, and yet, in
No,
what
not
way?
necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. Let me show you another thing we can do.
In what way would I say God is true if not in the scientific sense?
You'll see there'll be some effect. What I'm saying is
That
the
effect
Quran.
could be real, and if that effect is real, I would say that effect is scientifically true, in the sense that, I did an exercise where I was hungry,
Yeah.
and I am actually.
There you are.
And I said, God, what should I eat?
Yeah.
And I observe a positive result over doing it in the scientific way multiple times.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, yes, indeed, this effect is scientifically real.
Fair enough.
And that this works.
Yes.
In this,
But doesn't
and
actually mean this is
yet,
God you're saying.
In what way would I be
Fair
saying
enough, fair
God
enough.
is true?
Another thing we can do is get a copy of the Quran, and you say, God, if you exist, prove it to me through the Quran. You open it wherever you. The Quran's about 1,000 pages. You open it wherever you want, and the words there should be totally relevant to you. Should we try that?
Still the same problem.
No, you'll see. Let's see what happens. If you hold this a minute, I'll
Because
Well, let me get a Quran. One minute.
all right.
This is a copy of the Quran here, Jan. Complete Quran in Arabic. Okay, it's about 1,000 pages or so,
Yeah.
900 pages. And I'll say, please God, Allah or God, doesn't matter, Allah guide Jan through the Quran. Are you happy to say that as well? Allah, you could say, Allah guide me through the Quran. Yeah, Allah, please guide me through the Quran.
Allah, please guide me through the Quran.
Fine, okay, I'll say, please Allah guide Jan through the Quran. For our viewers here, this is chapter An-Naml, which means the ant.
Yep.
Yeah, it's verse 23, ayah 23. Okay, it says here, indeed, I found there a woman ruling them, and she has been given of all things, and she has a great throne. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun instead of Allah, instead of God. And Satan has made their deeds pleasing to them and averted them from his way, so they are not guided. This is actually a story of King Solomon, Prophet Solomon. We call him Prophet Solomon. When a bird went out and I think found Queen Sheba. Queen Sheba. In Arabic, Zuleika, is it?
No, it's not Zuleika.
No, it's not.
Queen.
Yeah, okay. Saba. Saba. Sorry. Found Queen Saba. He went there, this bird. The bird was Hoopoe bird, is it? Hoopoe bird. Hoopoe bird went there, and I was asking the cameraman, Hoopoe bird, and came back and told King Solomon, the Prophet Solomon, this, that the bird came back and told Prophet Solomon that he said, the bird says, I found her and her people prostrating, that's worshipping, to the sun instead of God, instead of Allah. And Satan had made their deeds pleasing to them and averted them from his ways, so they are not guided. Maybe just read a couple of sentences more. And so they do not prostrate to Allah, who brings forth what is hidden within the heavens and the earth, that's God, and knows what you conceal and what you declare.
Okay.
Allah,
I'm
there's
finding
no God except Him, Lord of the great throne. Okay, Solomon said, we will see whether you were truthful or were of the liars. And he continues. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I mean, here it's talking about how people can worship the sun, or they can worship nothing, or they can worship. Quran says people who say there's no God, they actually worship themselves.
Yep.
They regard themselves as God. Essentially, there's nothing higher than me.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yes. So, and you can be happy in your ways.
Technicality. You could,
Yeah, that's right. So what I'm saying is, just because you're happy in being an atheist, Jan, a Jewish atheist, doesn't mean it's correct. I would suggest try and worship God, pray to God, and see what happens. That's my conclusion. Do you have anything else you take from this verse?
Well, okay. Here's how. To be fair, I'm kind of busy, but I'm not open to the idea of maybe in 5 years when I get bored doing something like that. Okay.
But why not try it tonight when you go back to your room?
I'm busy. I got work. I got schoolwork to do.
No, just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. Spend 2 minutes. What I'm saying is, as I mentioned to you, you could become professor of physics, which I think you want to do, and you become very rich and have the best partner, best house, best car. Would you be happy? I'm sorry, without God, you're not going to be truly happy. So connect with God, still do the same thing, still become a professor. Hopefully God will make it easier for you to become professor, and you're going to find you're a lot happier. Try it and see. It's, as I said, it's the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You can't... you could say this dessert is not vegetarian.
Listen, again, the problem is the same, which is that I could do exactly what you're saying, except here's the thing with science. Okay?
Is there a God or not?
Here's-
You won't know
here's
still.
Here's the truth.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with truth, which is that what we regard to be the truth, the scientific truth
Yes.
specifically,
Yep.
is a very carefully concocted list of beliefs where every single belief, distinct from another, is specifically necessary to make predictions in a certain way, right? And this is intimately related to what truth is, scientific truth is, and how it is.
I agree with you,
Yep.
but God is outside this.
Which means
He's not within the scientific truth. You can't measure him.
and
You'll never be able to detect him.
and again, if I'll never be able to detect it, by definition, again, that makes it by definition scientifically false.
Well, scientifically, it's false. That's true. But I'm saying there's a spiritual realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Connect
you're
him
getting-
spiritually.
Right. And the thing is, okay.
I would say just try and see. Try it and see, and come back and tell us. Yes, I said the words.
Now you're coming into the heart of the problem, okay? Because
What I would say is, what I would say is, the heart is the problem.
No, okay. The heart is the problem. I'm going to make sense right now.
Yeah.
Here is the great big problem here, which is that on the one hand you have the book and you have the meditation, which works, and here is the problem, okay? Even though the book works,
But not just for a few people, 2 billion people.
no, I'm going to make a really good point.
I'm waiting for the good point.
Just
Yeah.
be patient. Unfortunately, I'm a slow guy, okay?
No, you're good. As soon as you make the big point, then if you're strong, I'll become atheist.
Okay, here's the problem. You have the book, which works, and it does work, and it's associated with God. You have, what are the other things? The happiness,
Contentment.
asking God
yeah.
for the right food to eat in that moment, etc., etc. All these examples, that you have all of these things, but the problem is, these things are within the purview of science, right? In other words, I read the book, I opened the book up, and in that passage I found meaning and I found guidance.
Good.
Again, I asked
agree.
meditation.
That's good.
All of these
Yeah.
are
Within science.
within science.
Absolutely.
So when we're talking
They have to,
about
otherwise we wouldn't be able to interact with them.
yeah, yes, that's at the heart of what science is.
It's true.
And so now the real core issue is whether you think science will be able to tackle every single thing related to God or not. And therein a critical rephrasement, which is that now because when you think of science as a body of knowledge, that you might not be able to realize this, but what you're actually suggesting is whether humans will be able to figure it out. In other words,
Figure out whether there's a God or not.
No, figure out all of these things through science.
The physics and so on.
No. All of these examples you've given me, whether it be praying
Yes,
on the
yeah.
ground, with
Meditation.
meditation, some of these we have good explanations for, some of these we don't. And at the core of it is that will science be able to explain all of these events? Eventually, maybe in 100 years, maybe in 1,000 years. And so the problem is that now you're suggesting that things are happening here where humans won't be able to use science to explain these events. And there,
Not 100%.
let me okay, here's why I'm saying that, because if science does work in this way, then now you're and successfully explains these events. Now you have all of these events with both a religious explanation and a scientific explanation, and now you're making a choice, and almost an equivalent choice. If we go all the way and suggest that we're constantly working on all of these problems, and so eventually the science is as optimal as can be, and the religion is various degrees of optimal as can be, right? And so, what you're left with is this completely arbitrary choice. Do I take the scientific explanation? Do I take the religious explanation?
Okay, what
right?
I'm saying is, let me answer this question very quickly. The Quran itself,
Yep.
the point is, the Quran cannot be explained scientifically. What I mean by that is, what I'm saying is,
that's the thing, which
no,
is
no,
that.
no, no,
which
no.
is
What
that
I'm sorry. let me-
now you're betting.
one
now you're betting against.
No. What I'm saying
people's
is,
ability to do that.
no. What I'm saying is, can human beings, one human being or a group of human beings, could they produce the Quran? Because the Quran's a miracle. We'll say no, they can't.
That's not what I'm suggesting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the proof of God existing is the Quran, and the Quran, because human beings can't produce a Quran, or a book like the Quran, which has an effect on 2 billion people, etc. Therefore, the Quran has to come from outside human paradigm, and therefore has to come from God.
But again, now you're saying something like people will never fly. People will never get to
Produce?
the moon.
No, they can't produce them like the Quran.
Yeah, but now you're betting against people's capacity to do things, which is at the core fundamentally saying humans are limited to do these things.
The Quran, they can't. You see, they have to produce a book like the Quran
Yep.
with this language, etc. It have to have this effect. 2 billion people have to follow this book. Can somebody write a book that 2 billion people decide now are going to say, yes, it's the words of God, it's the words of this amazing being, God and so on.
It would be a significant waste of human effort to try and accomplish that, you would say. But
I would suggest try it and see. Connect with God and then come back and tell us. So you say, I'll only worship God, Allah. I accept Muhammad as a messenger of God. That'll give you the connection, right? And then come back and tell us what happens. We'll hold the recording and then you come back and tell us. So you say, I will only worship one God, Allah. And number 2, I accept Muhammad as a messenger of God. That gives you the connection. That actually makes you Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah. And then do the meditation. Don't
Yes.
change anything else in your life. Just try this and see, and then come back and tell us what happened.
yes, again. So overall, here is the situation. Here is what I'm looking at. There are all of these events which are within the realm of science. Yeah? And you can use science to eventually get explanations for these, which we continue to refine. Okay? Except the existence of God, which
It's outside.
lies outside.
Yes, it lies outside.
Okay. Now what we're looking at is hypothetically a comprehensive understanding of all of these events because they exist within the realm of science. Except the one about God. And so you have the religion, which is the Muslim religion, the Jewish, etc., etc. And you have explanations for all of these paradigms. The reason why asking for God for good food works is because it relates to your inner desires and it triggers these types of, you can make stuff up.
Of course you can. But I'm saying
And
try
so-
God and see.
And so what I'm saying is I'm going to try all of these things,
Okay.
but
Say the word 2 sentences, you've got a connection, and then come back and tell us nothing happened. For example, you could try the...
but even if something did happen,
No, but the something would have to be something beyond explanation.
but then
Then, no, you would see it. You would see something in your life would change.
okay.
Yeah, maybe your
But
relationship...
that's still within
Science.
Yeah.
No, the effects. Obviously, God is outside science, outside the universe. His effects have to be within the universe, otherwise, how would we see them? He does interact. Obviously, he's outside the universe, but he's interacting.
you
He's in a
see-
different dimension.
Correct.
We are within this dimension of the universe.
Okay.
So he does obviously have to interact with things inside the universe, otherwise, we wouldn't be able to know anything about him. So him sending prophets or doing miracles or sending the Quran,
All these things.
yes, these are within our universe, and he has to. Yes, so therefore he has to.
Let me give you an example. You pick up a stick. Okay, you're walking through the forest and you pick up a stick. Okay, and then you pick up a stick and you walk along with it for another minute. Okay, you blink, something happens. You blink. The next time you look at the stick, it's a snake. You're like, what the hell? Right? You drop it on the floor. It runs away. You run away. What is the correct conclusion? So on the outset, you're thinking, oh wow, it seems as if something crazy happened. So something that shouldn't happen happened. Like I was holding onto this snake for a whole minute.
Yeah, was it
you
actually a
know,
snake or a stick?
Is like it didn't make any sound. I didn't notice. I swear it was a stick. So the thing is,
You're using example because of Moses and the snake and the
of
stick.
course, it's meant to be
Yes,
intentional.
because obviously Jewish, because you're Jewish atheist.
Oh, potentially. Yeah. Okay.
No, but try God and see. Say the two sentences.
Here is the problem. So now we have a scenario, something which, let's say, did happen, which is challenging. We say requires explanation, right? And the correct scientific explanation would go something like this, which is that either
It was a snake already.
you really are that oblivious. Like, what the hell? You picked up a snake that was sleeping.
That's right.
You pick up a
right.
snake.
I understand.
Okay. Or something more. Or
Yeah,
in the
miracle.
no, unfortunately,
No.
you would say, "Wow,
Yes.
there is a type of undiscovered snake
Yes.
which has the
Yes.
ability
To look like.
to appear like a snake for a very long
Yes,
amount
I
of time."
I agree with all of this, but I would suggest, look, say the two sentences, connect with God, and come back and tell us how you got
Sure,
on.
sure, I'll do that.
So you say, I will only worship one God,
I will only worship one God,
Allah,
Allah,
and I accept
and I accept
Muhammad
Muhammad
as his servant
as his servant
and his messenger.
and his messenger.
You say in Arabic also is more powerful. You say Ashhadu.
No.
You know what Arabic? Same words. It's same words. You're saying,
Okay.
Ashhadu
Ashhadu
Allah
Allah
ilaha
ilaha
illallah
illallah
wa
wa
ashhadu
ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammadan
Muhammadan
abduhu
abduhu
wa
wa
rasuluh.
rasuluh.
Congratulations. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
You're a good man. God bless you. Now, start to do the meditation, right? And inshallah, one day, inshallah means God willing, you will become a professor of physics at Imperial College, hopefully.
And then you will be able to say, I'm a Muslim professor of physics.
It's up to you. It's up to you what you say. It's up to you what you say. But try and see. So I'll give you the books and, yeah, fantastic. Okay. Zakaria, you want to say something quickly? He accepts Shahada. The last video, last chance. Give him a bit, yeah. Give him a bit.
I don't know.
Give him a bit of advice. You could record at the end. This is the last video.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Moving abroad, sir.
The main thing is pray to God. Pray to God. That's the main thing, and ask God to guide you, because this is the best thing we can do: is acknowledge if there is a Creator and if He can help us, and He may help our life get better. You know, we just ask God to help us, and that's the main thing to do. Whatever we do in life, none of us are perfect, so we ask God to help us. That's the main thing we can do, you know, in life.
That makes sense.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور